Hello everyone, the Crime Life channel is with you. In this video, you will learn about the disappearance of Amy Lynn Bradley. The luxury cruise ship, Royal Caribbean Rhapsody of the Seas, sailed into the Caribbean Sea early on Saturday morning, March 21st, 1998. There were 2,000 idle passengers on board. They were going to have an unforgettable trip to one of the most beautiful islands of the Caribbean, Curacao, located 80 kilometers from Venezuela. The liner was a whole entertainment complex. There were bars, nightclubs, and a cinema, 2 saltwater pools, a steakhouse, a pizzeria, a private bakery, a SPA, a fitness room, restaurants with Mexican, Italian, and Asian cuisine. On the deck, a 23-year-old girl in sunglasses, shorts, and a bright t-shirt was blissfully squinting from the bright spring sun. She has a refreshing lemonade in her hands. Celine Dion's hit, My Heart Will Go On, from the acclaimed Titanic, is being softly broadcast on the radio. A light sea breeze is blowing. That's it. Happiness. The girl dangles her tanned bare feet, admiring the sunny panorama. Her name is Amy Lynn Bradley, and she just graduated from the University of Virginia. Soon, Amy planned to start working at a computer consulting company soon, but in the meantime, have a good rest in the company of her parents and younger brother Brad, who turned 21. Ron and Willow Bradley, middle-class Americans, decided to treat their children to a week-long cruise. The brother and sister immediately attracted attention. They burned out at parties, had fun, and danced until they fell. Dark-haired with short hair, surprisingly plastic sociable, Amy danced incendiously and soon became a local star. She quickly made new friends and participated in all the entertainment activities. Mr. Bradley did not like the close attention of men, both vacationers and the staff of the liner, to his pretty, lively daughter. Ron made remarks to Amy several times, but she waved him off. "Dad, I'm fine. I'm not doing anything wrong, and I know how to stand up for myself." Ron had no doubt about the latter. His daughter was an excellent athlete. She was equally successful in basketball and swimming. Amy Lynn had been living separately from her parents for a year and considered herself an independent and reasonable girl. She planned her budget, studied, played sports, worked as a lifeguard on the beach, got a bulldog named Daisy, and rented an apartment. Of course, Ron and Willow didn't encourage some things. My daughter, as a sign of her special love for basketball, got a tattoo under her shoulder blade. The Tasmanian devil twirls a basketball on one finger. Oh, these modern youth. Children do not think at all about how it will look in 20 years. And now Ron was trying hard to keep his obsessive thoughts away from himself. What could possibly happen to Amy, traveling with her parents and almost constantly in the company of her brother on board a comfortable cruise ship? On that ill-fated evening, March 23, 1998, the liner docked at Curacao, which was marked by a chic dinner on the upper deck of the ship. The guests, dressed according to the dress code, men in suits, ladies in evening dresses, enjoyed delicious food and drinks. For dinner, Amy chose a long black dress with straps that effectively accentuated her figure. Well-trained waiters in white gloves, expensive dishes, chandeliers playing with diamond radiance, dishes from the chef. Everything was solemn and festive. Mr. Bradley and his wife, tired of a boat trip and a plentiful dinner, preferred to go to bed early, and Amy and Brad went to a party at the ship's Mardi Gras nightclub to listen to live music and have fun until dawn. The brother and sister were sipping cocktails, and when the disco started, they went to the center of the dance floor. Musician Alistair Douglas from the ship's band Blue Orchid began to show Amy signs of attention, treated her to drinks, and invited her to dance. The girl behaved uninhibitedly and flirted with him with pleasure. A local photographer captured Amy dancing with Alistair. The couple paid tribute to the hot drinks. According to Douglas, he left the party around 1 o'clock in the morning, and Amy stayed with her brother to have fun. Brad gave up first and left the party. At about 3:35, he appeared in his cabin, which was recorded by the computer door lock system. Amy smoked a cigarette, admired the night sky, and 5 minutes later came to the cabin. Before going to bed, the brother and sister went out on the balcony of the cabin and chatted for a while. Amy, excited by dancing, settled down to sleep on the balcony in a chaise longue. It was stuffy in the cabin. Ron woke up around 5:30 and saw Amy sleeping peacefully on a chaise longue on the cabin balcony. Mr. Bradley fell into a shallow sleep, but for some reason could not sleep. He opened his eyes at 6 in the morning. The daughter mysteriously disappeared from the balcony, as if she had disappeared into thin air. Ron immediately woke up his wife and son. The parents thought that the girl had gone to an early breakfast, but her shoes were still there. Couldn't she have left barefoot, taking only cigarettes and a lighter? The family panicked and went in search of Amy. Ron appealed to the ship's crew to help find Amy and announced the girl's disappearance over the loudspeaker, but the management objected. "Mr. Bradley, it's early in the morning, and we can't wake the passengers and make a fuss. Let's wait until 8 o'clock and make an announcement." Amy's worried relatives searched for her all over the ship and sent her messages on her pager, but the girl did not respond. The family begged the crew to take the ship away from the pier and remove the gangplank. If Amy is kidnapped and is with the kidnapper, then the criminal will not be able to leave the liner. The security service ignored the requests of the relatives. Many of the passengers disembarked unhindered and went on a tour of the island of Curacao. The chances of finding Amy were fading by the minute due to the inaction of the liner's crew. In the end, the captain of the ship gave the order to search the ship around 13 o'clock. The staff combed 10 decks and cabins, but in vain. Ron begged for Amy's photos to be posted and for missing person notices to be posted. The captain declined his request. This will instill nervousness and worry passengers enjoying their vacation. No one except her parents and brother took Amy's disappearance seriously. The Bradley family disembarked from the liner to the island of Curacao and contacted the U.S. Embassy, which in turn attracted the FBI to search for the girl. A full-scale search was launched. According to one version, Amy could have fallen into the water, leaning over the balcony railing, and drowned. But firstly, the crossbars were too high, and secondly, Amy was a great swimmer. Could she have deliberately jumped off? My parents and brother have unequivocally denied this. Amy was a sensible, level-headed girl with plans for the future. The FBI interviewed eyewitnesses who saw Amy that ill-fated night. The bassist of the musical group, Alistair Douglas, with whom Amy was drinking and having fun, came under suspicion. A passenger named Crystal Roberts confirmed that the couple were dancing a slow dance and whispering. Mr. Douglas confirmed his flirtation with Amy, but assured her that he left the party much earlier than her. The cameraman, who was hired by the company to create the cruise commercials, provided the video from the nightclub. Amy and Alistair are dancing on it. Two girls claim to have seen Amy and Alistair leaving the elevator at about 5:30, walking in the direction of the ship's club. Later, Alistair passed a lie detector test flawlessly. However, there was one strange circumstance that Brad remembered. On the morning of March 24th, when Amy disappeared, Alistair approached Brad to express his regrets about the girl's disappearance. After that, Brad realized that Alistair could not have been informed about the disappearance, since at that time only the family and crew members knew about it. Other interviewed passengers of the liner who remembered Amy gave interesting and unexpected testimony. Some of them noticed that the waiters were inappropriately familiar with Amy Bradley. They called her by name, flirted shamelessly, passed notes, and made plans. "Hey, baby, soon we will dock at the shore of Aruba Island. Will you come with me to the local Carlos and Charlie's bar for a drink? By the way, it was in this bar in 2005 that the infamous young American Natalie Holloway disappeared. Meanwhile, the FBI discovered that the liner's crew did not conduct a thorough search of the ship. They only briefly examined the toilets and public areas without looking into the cabins of staff and passengers. Amy's family was furious. Eva Bradley, Amy's mother, recalled a strange circumstance during dinner on the eve of her daughter's disappearance. The ship's photographer took pictures of all the guests of the restaurant. Later, the photos were displayed at the booth at the entrance to the restaurant so that passengers could buy the pictures they liked. Remarkably, Amy was photographed a lot that evening and night, but for some reason all the photos with her disappeared. The further the FBI delved into the case, the more frightening the details became clear. It turns out that on the night of Amy's disappearance, a dance show group boarded the liner from the island of Curacao to participate in a disco. Together with them, strangers who are neither dancers nor passengers of the ship who want to have fun at the disco entered the liner. Days passed, but there was no news about Amy, despite the fact that any information about the girl was rewarded. The parents promised $250,000 to someone who owns the location data and can help Amy's unhindered return. In August 1998, 5 months after Amy disappeared, David Carmichael, an engineer from Canada, was vacationing on the island of Curacao. On the beach, he saw a girl who looked very much like the missing Amy, accompanied by 2 men. The girl looked intimidated and took a step towards David, but one of the men rudely pushed her away and shouted threateningly at her. Carmichael noticed an unusual tattoo on the stranger's shoulder. The agents immediately went in search of the girl, but she disappeared into the water. Desperate parents hired a private investigator, former military Frank Jones, who was sure that Amy had fallen into the hands of the Colombian mafia. He sent the girl's family photo reports and fake descriptions of her searches, extorting money from the unfortunate parents. After assuring Ron and Evie that Amy could be saved as a result of a special operation, Jones asked them to send him another $100,000 on top of the stated amount. The inconsolable parents were told to go to Florida and wait for their daughter. Unfortunately, Jones turned out to be a con man who was leading the Bradley family by the nose. The pseudo-detective squandered their money in bars and entertainment centers, for which he paid a prison sentence. A quarter of a century has passed since the disappearance of the girl, but the matter has not moved forward. According to one anonymous witness, he met a girl who looked like Amy Lynn Bradley in a brothel on the island of Curacao in 1999. She may have been sold into slavery. The girl looked distraught and depressed. This man sent a photo of a sex worker to Amy's parents by email only in 2005. The police rushed to comb the dens and hot spots, but they did not find any traces of this girl. Then eyewitnesses allegedly met Amy in Barbados, then in a cafe on the island of Curacao. She was always seen accompanied by men. Amy's mother, in an interview with People magazine, complained that her daughter has always attracted the admiring and very aggressive attention of men and may have become someone's trophy. The most plausible version was that Amy was killed on the ship and thrown overboard. Amy Lynn Bradley was officially declared dead on March 24, 2010, 12 years after her disappearance and without finding her body. If the Bradley family had known how their trip on the luxury cruise ship would end, they would never have set foot on it.